Guys, welcome back to another breakdown video. It has been a little bit since we've done one of these. I really enjoy making them for you. I also said if we reached 100 people on our Patreon page, we would do these more regularly. Now, we just missed out on that, but we have surpassed that number since. And I'm also very proud to say that Bet Machine that make these world-class bench rest actions, long-range actions, hunting actions have stepped up. And they are sponsoring our video series. We're gonna call it the Bet Machine Breakdown. I'm gonna show you guys the little intro we've done for that. So we'll be doing 2 of these videos every month where we will be reviewing some of my old stages. And if you guys want, I could create an email address where you could send in your footage and I can give you some critique on that, potentially give you some tips, and we can all learn from that. Having said that, I've got a ton of old footage. So let me show you the little bat intro we've done. If you're looking for new tactical action, long-range action, hunting action, head on over to batmachine.com, or you could phone 208-981-0300 and ask for Bruce. Anyway, let's go. So, quick little thing, I got these. Apparently I've been editing too much and my eyes are stressing unnecessarily and I'm having a lot of trouble sleeping. So we got these and I'll be rocking them from now on when we're doing computer work. Guys, I also want to thank everybody that's new on the channel. The channel, by the time you guys watch this, will have surpassed 25,000 subscribers, which is 25% towards our goal of 100. So we're really ticking along now and we are super grateful for it. I'm so humbled by it. It really feels like a dream how quickly this is happening, and I can't thank each and every one of you enough. To help out the cause, always make sure you leave a comment down below, share this video with a friend, and smash, assault that like button, as Peter would say. Anyway, okay, so without further ado, let's jump into the stage. Let me tell you a little bit more about the stage. We had 2 positions, 2 targets from each position. The first target was at 510-ish meters. We were shooting off these barrels, as you'll see now. So you had to engage the first target with 2 rounds at 500 meters and then engage the second target, which was at 715 meters if memory serves. This video footage is a little bit old. I want to thank my friend Paul Jacobs for actually coming with this day and getting us some awesome footage. So we engage the second target with 2 rounds and then you move positions and then you re-engage both targets. So 8 rounds in total. Let's go. So the stage starts off, you'll notice, and I see somebody asked this the other day in the comments, why have I always got my rifle sort of pointed up like this? Now, it's really easy to balance a rifle. It's like if I held this optic like this towards you, it does get quite heavy. But if I hold it like this on its balance point, it's really not that heavy and it's very easy to maneuver. So I tend to just always have my rifle up next to me like this. However, we do have a little bit of banter here between myself and the guys ROing the rest of my squad, and I say like, okay, cool, we gotta move this along because my arm's getting smoked here because it is an ACC from MDT. As you guys know, I shot for them in this season, and it does tend to get a little bit heavy. So yeah, and I obviously don't want to smoke my arm and dealing with any unnecessary fatigue in that arm when we have to engage targets at 700 meters off unstable obstacles. So you guys will notice I'm running 2 bags. Now in this specific case, I ran the 2 bags and there's a reason to my madness. Having said that, at the end of the episode, we will recap sort of things that I might do a little bit differently now that I've learned a bit more about precision rifle. And I think a big thing people underestimate is their own ability, and if you can trust your own ability with a rifle, you can get away with a little bit more, and it's a confidence thing also, so we'll recap that at the end. Right, so there's a little bit of confusion here between which arrow is going to spot which targets, or whatever the case may be. That one target, the far target, is super difficult to spot, especially in these conditions. It's very miragey. So you really got to know what you're doing. I've got my friend Bremer here, my friend Skalk, and then the Yonkers guys, who are some of the best gunsmiths in Cape Town. Also super nice guys to shoot with. So right off the bat, you'll see I'm taking my little short action precision solo sack and I'm chucking that onto where my second position is, so that if I need to utilize it then, it's already there. I don't need to deal with that. Now, if I do that again, probably not. If I shot this stage the same or a similar stage, I probably wouldn't do that. And then the other bag I'm running here is a CMH Big Boss bag. Now you'll see I'm putting it down on its side, so sort of instead of putting it down in this configuration, I'm putting it down in that configuration. And that's going to allow me to lie more surface area of my rifle on the bag, okay? And that bag's going to sort of, because it's longer this way, it's going to wrap around that barrel a little bit better. And you'll also notice what I've done is with my Atlas bipod, I've almost marked out where that bag will fit in. So I've created sort of a vise, if you will. You'll see that there. So between my magazine and where my bipod is, that spacing is perfect, that I can sort of wedge that bag in there, and it's gonna give me a really solid position to shoot from. Okay, as always, we've spoken about this in the past. In a lot of low kneeling positions, that elbow to the front knee is available, so utilize that and absolutely squeeze the most stability you can out of any position. Now in this first target, 500 meters from this position, super easy shot, and you'll notice I kind of take my time on the first shot, but then the next shot is downrange pretty quickly. And I do call for the ROs here to just give me a little bit quicker feedback if they see that plate's ringing, so that I can re-engage it, because often you just want them to be on the same speed, you know? Okay, so you'll notice there I sort of hesitate a little bit after that first shot goes off. You can hear the audible feedback. I'm not going to play the sound over this because it's just too many sounds to deal with, but I can hear that from where I am. And what I'm trying to do by delaying that second round a little bit is actually see how that plate swung, so that I can know, listen, I hit it on the edge and I saw it do this, and I need to potentially add a little bit more wind or take some wind off. And that's why I always try and get that first round down quickly, but I make sure my follow through and the trigger pull and everything is perfect. Because if you're not executing on those sort of fundamentals, then if you hit to the left and you had a bad trigger pull, then that information's a little bit useless. So you got to make sure you're ticking all of those other boxes. So in order to use the information, you get downrange. I guess we could make a similar argument to putting bad information into your ballistic solver. If you're putting garbage in, you're gonna get garbage out. So that's very important. Make sure you're ticking all those boxes in terms of your fundamentals, because otherwise your downrange information you're getting is a little bit useless. So again, quick on the bolt, I engage the second target, and now I've already dialed. You'll also notice here, I'm gonna go back a little bit for us. Okay, so I'm hitting second shot. Okay, well, let's just play that again. Okay, this is the second shot at 500. Then we can just watch the sequence again. Okay, so instantly, you guys know I write my dope on my hand, because as I'm coming up to that elevation turret, if I've got my hand turned over like this, I can see exactly what I'm doing. Yes, I did shoot this optic. Then I can see what I'm doing, and it's in there. There's a few drawbacks to that, but we can chat about that in a different video. So I'm dialing my elevation, double checking that it's in my line of sight, and I'm already sort of panning my rifle over to find that next target, because we want to minimize the time wasted here. Now I'm having a little bit trouble finding the target, and you'll see I immediately go to my magnification ring and I back that out so I can open up that field of view, and then I can find my target a little bit easier. As soon as I'm on it, boom. Okay, that's the impact. So I also hit that second shot, and immediately I'm going to open up my bolt and transition over to the next position. Now again, here you'll see me struggling a little bit with the bipod. I have to manipulate the bipod. I overdo it a little bit. And now what I'm doing, instead of using my rear bag, and this is where the Arca Swiss technology really comes in, which is the camera technology which we've brought over into precision rifle. And what's nice about the ACC, it's got that Arca rail built into the whole front section, so you could literally just position that bipod where you're gonna need it. And now what I'm doing, instead of using my rear bag as one would normally on your sort of rear, on your buttstock of your rifle, I'm actually using that rear bag towards the magazine well of my rifle, and I'm still manipulating the height of that rifle and getting the extra stability that I can by having another point of contact with that barrel. Again, going forward, I probably wouldn't use this technique. It was super solid though. And what I'm doing also, what you guys can note, I've engaged the first target at 500, which you obviously start off the stage with already having dialed that elevation in. Then I'm going to dial to 700, which we hit twice, and then I'm going to move over to the next position. Now, instead of shooting the target at 500 meters again, I would have to dial back, shoot that, dial back up. I'm just going to shoot the furthest target because my scope elevation is already dialed for that. Okay, I'm going to engage that target twice, then come down to 500, boom, boom, and that's the end of the stage, at least in theory. Let's see how this goes. Now, I missed that shot. I don't know if it was a bad wind call, but again, on this specific target, it's sort of on the crest of a mountain, so it's really difficult to see where you're missing. And generally, in this case, I would just add a little bit more wind if I felt that there was more wind or whatever the case may be. You'll also notice something I want to point out here is, first of all, my ass got really big. I was a little bit out of shape here. I am actually a little bit out of shape at the moment, but I am making a conscious effort to get back in shape, and I want to sort of maybe bring you guys along on that journey in a different video when sort of we're ready for an update on that. Anyway, so I've basically locked out my legs, and I'm using my skeletal structure to support my body instead of using like sort of bending down on the knees, because that just brings additional wobble into that. And also somehow something I've never practiced, but I find my left hand does whatever it needs to sort of try and stabilize the rifle. Okay, so our RO's just given me 20 seconds left. I'm dialing back to 500. We know the wind calls money here, so I'm just gonna go boom, boom. Make that really quick, but still make sure I'm executing on my deliverables, which are good trigger pulls, good sight picture, good natural point of aim, so I'm knowing these are banker points for me at this point in time. Okay, and what I also try and did there is, as I open up my bolt and I just follow that little piece of brass, the rifle is safe, and I'm gonna see, okay, it's fallen over here, so my other little pile of 4 is gonna be right there. And then, because you don't want to lose brass, brass is really expensive back in South Africa, so we want to make sure we recover all our pieces. So guys, there's something I want to jump back to here. In this specific scene, watching this back and on this day, a little bit of shooter etiquette is when somebody's on the line not to have a full-blown conversation in the background. You guys obviously couldn't hear that in this specific video, but behind me there is a full-on conversation happening. That's people that's not spotting. And if you're gonna chat with someone, just like chat a little bit softer so that the guy can communicate with the RO and the RO can communicate with the shooter. And then the other thing is, if there's questionable times at any point whether a hit was made, you could just like wait for the audible feedback. But when somebody's just speaking in the background, stuff like that tends to go by the wayside. So just keep that in mind as a shooter, and we're all responsible for each other, and we want to make sure everyone is safe and that we have an enjoyable experience. So that's just a little bit of shooter etiquette. Other than that, guys, I want to thank you very much for watching the stage breakdown. Make sure once again you reach out to Bruce at batmachine.com to shop your next action for precision rifle or their new Bumblebee action, which I'm super pumped for. Guys, if you want to watch some of my other breakdowns, make sure you click up here. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, click down here, or if you want to join our Patreon community, you can click down here, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. Have a great Sunday. Bye.